Recording in progress.
Yes. Okay, got it. Okay.
Okay. Hi, Andrew Colyer from Circuline, and we're here. Dave Bainbridge, we're here with Darin Brannon, Natalie Brown, and Shelby Logan Warne, and we're here. This is the Circuline Behind the Official Video series. So today we're going to be talking about the first single release off of our third studio album, C.O.R.E, and this was called Tempus Horribilis. One of the things that we really wanted to do for this third album was we really wanted to raise our game as far as video production. A lot of things we had done in the past ourselves, we were kind of bootstrapping it. Feel free to laugh at some of those earliest videos. Darin Brannon did a great job of doing the editing. We shot.
Don't blame me. Don't blame me.
And in fact, for kind of season 2, which was our second studio album, Counterpoint, Shelby was part of the video team when we were on tour in England. When we did one of our official videos at Trading Boundaries, and when she was working with Crystal Spotlight, and that actually really was part of the encouragement for us to step up our game. For this third studio album, we enlisted the help of professionals to shoot all the official videos. I wanted to go work with Don Chafin at D City Studios down on Long Island because I had done 2 videos with him with the progressive metal band Awaken, and they did the Ride Like the Wind video.
So I ride like the wind, ride like the wind. Gonna ride like the wind.
And they did the 1,800-acre like psychiatric facility on Long Island.
Yeah, that girl was really good. That actress was really good.
Yeah, anyway.
There's a thorn in the wind that can lead you to heaven. A moment of truth takes you out of the will.
I had done 2 videos with Don, and he and his team were so fantastic. We wanted to go work with them. We shot all these videos in a week in August of 2023. Due to scheduling conflicts, Dave actually was not able to make some of those, so he was shooting footage on location. Dave was actually working on his solo album, was in California recording drums with Simon Phillip, right?
That's right.
So 3 of the videos we shot here in the Hudson Valley with Shelby, and then the 3 videos we did with Don, Dave was able to join us live in person. We finished shooting up here. We finished shooting one of our videos, and we drive down to Long Island on Monday night. Darin had booked us in a Super 8 motel on Long Island.
Good times.
It was good times.
We spare no expense here.
The bugs, the stank, everything. It was awesome.
What was really funny
I still think about that experience.
Right?
So do I.
I went in the bathroom, and I went to go to the bathroom, and I was like, where's the toilet paper holder? And Shelby had already done a video. Shelby, tell us about that video. It was hysterical.
Do you remember?
Yeah, so I filmed a story going into the room, taking it all in candidly, and I went into the bathroom, and I also immediately noticed that, like, I thought, where on earth is the toilet roll holder? And I saw a good like 1.5 meters, like what, 6 feet away, like 5 feet away from the toilet on the other side of the bathroom, it's just by the door. I just thought that was just really added to the whole vibe of the place.
Yes, yes, it did.
Right, we've made it down to Long Island after 2.5 hours of driving from Red Hook, and we've made it to a Super 8. And I gotta say, the award for the biggest distance between the toilet and the toilet paper goes to this motel.
We're very swanky.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, actually, that place was luxury compared to the place that we stayed the night after the video shoot. As you might remember, our car broke down.
Oh, God, that's right.
So we had to stay an extra night while it was being repaired. So we booked into this motel, which was just opposite the garage. It was just horrendous. There was a big picture window from the bedroom into the shower, which is strange.
Excellent.
Oh my God.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it was well. be one of the worst
Incredible.
Motel experiences of my whole life. But
Oh my God.
You know what? We had a car thing going on then too. The day we were like right before we were supposed to drive down there, my van started making this horrible noise, like.
Yeah.
And we didn't have time to get it fixed. We have 2.5 hours down and back. We don't have time to get this fixed. So
It was really loud by the time we got
was
home,
bad.
man. And when you pulled into the garage, do you remember all the guys going, "What?"
They're like, "What is that?" And it was a water pump.
Yeah.
And it was August, and we ran the air conditioner the whole day. And they were like, if you had driven this another couple of days, you'd have been stranded.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with you guys, wasn't it? With your car? Your car broke down with straight because they were trying to go home back to Baltimore.
Yeah, remember we tried to give them a jump and it didn't work.
Yes. So it needed a new battery. But unfortunately the garage had just closed, so we had to wait till the next morning before they could find one and everything.
Always. God.
Yeah, it has been great ever since. Yes.
Good. Oh, good.
When I originally booked these videos with Don, it was during the pandemic, and I'd said, Don, hey, we want to come shoot these 3 videos with you. And when I had worked with him before, he was in one location. During the pandemic, they moved their entire facilities, and we didn't really know what to expect when we went to his new place. And when we got there, he just said, okay, well, because the situation's different and they were still working on some other facilities, we're going to shoot 2 videos on the stage, or we're going to shoot 1 video outside in the parking lot. I remember this was August, and it was really hot. It was super hot. Another thing was, for this one, we decided we wanted to look as good as possible, so we had a makeup artist, which we've not had before. So one of the things that took a while was makeup, because we had to set everything out, and then we're out in the sun and we're sweating. And we kept saying, what's taking so long? Because everybody had to spend time in the makeup chair.
Yeah.
So,
but that was awesome. I loved that. It was the first time we've ever had, like, I was not left to my own misguided devices for my makeup. I was very excited.
That was a very cool experience. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, but Shelby, your makeup always looks good. I thought you did a great job.
Thank you.
But I thought you looked amazing beforehand. However, I'm so used to it. I'm like so spoiled because of all the years in theater. You know, everyone always did my makeup. So when I'm left to my own devices, it ends up pretty garish sometimes when I do these things. But that was money well spent. Let me just put it that way. Money well spent. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome. What was cool about the parking lot, and you may want to comment on this, Darin, was that it was really this industrial thing. And we've never had an image like that before. So it was like a warehouse and big steel, plate behind us. And they had like a row of speakers behind us on the wall.
Yeah, those Marshall stacks.
Marshall stacks, yeah.
And
in fact, I think that's the one that we're using for the back cover.
Oh, cool.
For the new CD. It's one of those photos that we had taken for that, so you'll get to see that. So awesome. Yeah, it's really a cool kind of look. For these videos, it's kind of weird. I hope I'm not spoiling anything for the audience that's going to watch these videos, but it was a weird thing to play the drums without a bass drum beater. That was really strange for me, and they took it away. They came over and took my bass drum beater away from me.
Oh yeah, well the problem was the parking lot was just a little bit sloped with a grate.
Well, that's right.
And I kept having to move my keyboards so that they wouldn't slide, and then I was worried Natalie was going to fall into the manhole. And
yes, there was a grate smack dab in the center.
That was good.
And
but she made it through.
Isn't that why they took your bass drum beater, because your drums were sliding on the parking lot?
No, it wasn't sliding. In fact, the bass drum thing was all the way through all videos. They just didn't want me to make too much noise. I don't get it. No, really, seriously, I didn't have a bass drum beater for any of those songs. So, and then they put pads on it. I'm going, okay, whatever. You know me, I roll with it, man.
Yeah,
I roll with it.
Yeah, you're a roll with it kind of guy, Darin.
Thank you.
Well, it was nice to do the photo shoot before. That was another thing, is because we found, actually Natalie found Shelby as a bass to bring into the band as a bassist, and we had all known about Dave, and so I had talked to Dave. We brought Dave on, and we're used to writing music in the room with people. And it was the first time we had done things on Zoom. We had done things on the phone. We've sent files back and forth. But all of a sudden we show up and I'm literally in front of my keyboard, right, looking at these two with their instruments on for the first time.
No, it was wonderful though. It was like,
here's our band, we're all together.
Yeah, it was awesome for us to have these guys finally, there with us. It was great.
We did actually get to play live a little bit.
It was exciting.
Well.
Yeah.
About halfway through, we asked to be plugged in. So,
yeah.
Yes.
That was
cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So there was like one track that we recorded the video for that I hadn't actually recorded any guitar on up to that point.
It was all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was on the stage. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did 2 or 3 takes, and there was one of the guitar solos that actually the amp I was going through didn't work properly, but it managed to get kind of a sound with lots of strange noises attached to it. But the actual solo I was really pleased with. So when I came to redo it, I watched that video and tried to replicate what I'd recorded.
Oh, cool.
Live. So,
oh, cool. Do you guys remember during filming how neat it was when it looked like that storm was coming in and how excited Don was getting? Because he was just, I mean, we were kind of afraid it might rain on us, but at the same time, and I just remember Don's enthusiasm, which for the whole day, because I kind of hate these camera things, but I really enjoyed that experience because I just thought he was so fun to work with. He was so great and enthusiastic and encouraging. And like, I felt completely safe to follow whatever instruction he might have had. But he was like a little kid when that bank of clouds started to come over and the lighting got really spooky and we're singing about horrible times. It kind of all coalesced into this nice moment. That was great. I loved that.
Well,
it felt very serendipitous.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Yeah, we couldn't have planned it better. It was great.
For people who don't know how these video shoots work, we had the rough mix of the songs. We didn't have the final mix of the songs, but we had the rough mix of the song going in, and they set up this giant PA system in the parking lot, and they just crank it up, and so we perform along to the track. So Shelby's playing bass to what she played on the record, and Dave's, except for that one song, is playing guitar to what he had played on the record, and Darin's playing without his bass drum, and I'm kind of keyboard miming, and we do anywhere from 7 to 11 takes of every single song. So they have one that's far away, and then they have one where they're like running around with the camera in our face. And what was cool was the ladders, because they had a short step ladder and they had a huge tall ladder with kind of a boom, and they were doing all different angles. And you're right, there was a storm that rolled in. I thought it was going to be a tornado because there were big dark gray clouds rolling in. And at that point,
yeah, they were ominous.
Because I think Darin's head was starting to look kind of red from the sun.
Yeah, I was getting a little bleached or a little sunburn there.
Parched.
Terrible. Parched. Yeah.
Scorched.
We have to be careful of this thing, this noggin of mine. Yes.
It's a sacred little dome.
Yes,
it is. The Darin dome.
Yes.
But yeah, it all turned out pretty cool. And some of the B-roll that you'll see, during this commentary, we want to thank Dave's wife, Sharon Rudolph, for being there that day. Sharon was part of the crew, and we had some B-roll cameras set up, and Sharon was walking around with her video camera, also taking videos. So we appreciate that. Yeah. Does it feel weird for you guys to not have any cables when you're miming? Like like we don't have any microphones, nothing's plugged in. You guys don't have any cables. How does that feel for you guys?
I've done that a few times before.
Oh, for me, sorry, go on.
Oh yeah, I've done it before on TV things a few times. I think what helped on this one was having the PA and having the music quite loud,
right?
Because it felt like you could at least get into it and kind of play the role. But on other TV things where the music's been really quiet, then and you're not playing, it's not so easy. But I think Don, they've got experience at that, so that was one.
Yeah, you can definitely tell he's done this before.
Yeah.
I mean,
I really felt quite comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Personally.
What about you, Shelby?
Yeah, it felt very weird. It felt very weird for me because, and the thing is as an audio engineer, as my day job, it's one of those things that I instantly notice whenever I watch music videos from other bands. I'm just like, oh, that guitar's not plugged in. Oh, that keyboard's not even got any power going into it. That's like, and I know it's fine. I know it's all show. It's all for the sake of, video, and like, it's fine. There's no reason for me to be like, but yeah, it's one of those things I always notice and get slightly like, oh, that makes my eye twitch a bit.
Well, for those of us who are much older than you, it's such an established convention. I mean, we've seen it so much. Like, I mean, Dave, we saw your videos. You're out. I have to ask you, how the hell did they get you to that spot out on that mountaintop where your video playing?
The drone.
Yes. Well, we had to climb up the hill to get there. Me and so these are some videos for my forthcoming album.
Yeah.
It was in on the border of Yorkshire and Lancashire. And
they're gorgeous.
It's a lovely spot where there's these big, massive rocks. But it was quite a steep climb to get up there. And then the rock itself that I was stood on was probably, 12 feet high or something. So I just had to make sure I didn't fall off, really.
When we started laughing, I'm like, oh my god, he had to do that with his guitar like strapped on his back or something. Look how the hell he got there. Yeah, beautiful.
Where's the playback? Where you're up on the top of a mountain rock hill and the drone's up here, and he was perfectly in time, like like whatever you were doing, and I was like, I didn't see any in-ears. No, I don't see a phone. I don't see a PA system. Like, how is he doing that?
I had my phone playing the tracks in my back pocket. So okay. Just about hear them.
Just about.
We did one video on location in this really wonderful village, a really old village, and has a abandoned church. And Dave Brannon said, "Oh, this will be a perfect location. It'll be really quiet." No one there. So we went there, and first of all, there was a team there doing some mapping out the building with all these kind of strange instruments, which they do to capture the instrument, the location for to use for video games. So they were making a bit of noise.
Wow.
And we started the first track, and we managed to ignore them a bit. And then literally a few seconds after the start of the first track, a pneumatic drill started drilling up the road about 20 feet away.
Oh my god.
So we had to wait till that finished. And then we started again, and a low-flying jet went over. Like, really. So it was just a comedy of errors.
Incredible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh
But
dear.
that's one of the things about filming anywhere on location. You're at the mercy of whatever happens.
Yes.
You know what? Speaking of location, I just want to ask, as an audio engineer, Shelby has her own studio that she runs in London.
Currently in the process of opening up, or rather taking over, a new studio, and it's been a very big undertaking that's been taking up the last 6-7 months of my life. And originally the plan was to pick up a property and lease out a property and open up a studio from scratch. But what has ended up happening over the last while, that we're actually now taking over an existing studio. So lots of things happening.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been a very busy time, and lots of paperwork, lots of admin. No, thank you very much. Hopefully we'll be able to make an announcement soon. There's a lot of little tiny things to figure out, a lot of little details and stuff. So we're on the cusp.
Oh, yay.
That's fantastic.
So happy. Yeah.
It should be good.
So with Tempus Horribilis, That's a song that is kind of like in two sections. It's about 6 minutes, kind of a progressive rock, where the first half was more Yes inspired. The second half's a little more Pink Floyd inspired. It's got the vocal breakdowns. We have the sample from, actually, you know what? Here's a question for the two Brits. What did you guys think? And you can feel free to be honest. What did you think when you heard the Queen of England, with her Annus Horribilis, little clip that we had, and we had a BBC newscaster bit in there as well.
Yeah. I immediately thought of The Crown because I'd been watching The Crown, so that immediately came to mind for me.
Okay.
I just binged watched it, Shelby. Yesterday.
Yep, same. I just finished the final season, and incredible.
I was deeply moved. I mean, I don't know what it feels like to be a Brit, but just the storytelling, whether it was part fiction and a lot of literary license, whatever.
There's a lot of dramatization for sure.
Yeah.
Thing is, I enjoyed it for what it is. I enjoyed.
Me too.
Because truth be told, I'm very indifferent when it comes to the royal family. I'm kind of a bit like, take it or leave it. But the show itself, I thought was done very well.
Me too. And the last episodes involving the relationship between her and Margaret were deeply affecting for me. I thought I'm a massive Imelda Staunton fan anyway. I mean, I love her from way back, theater, everything. I thought her Mama Rose was better than any American has ever done it. And I found it so affecting. I walked around with it kind of, all yesterday. I was very weepy. I was also sorry to see it go. I had also binged like the last 2 entire seasons in 2 days. So I was, I was kind of full of it.
She was cat sitting. She was cat sitting.
Yeah, I was cat sitting, and then yesterday I took down a bunch of Christmas decorations, and I kind of had it on the background. But yeah, very, very affecting. Dave, what did you think?
What, of The Crown or of the track?
No, of us totally appropriating Queen Elizabeth's speech.
I was surprised at the subject matter coming from people in America, but. Interesting. Although it made me think of the Queen with Paddington Bear. I don't know if you saw that. Not the actual song, but yeah. So no, it's interesting because I really had a lot of respect for the Queen, and basically she'd been Queen for the whole of my life.
Yeah.
When she died, it was quite a major thing, really. And actually, one of my friends who's he used to be a canon at St Paul's Cathedral, and then he now works in Windsor Great Park. He, every Wednesday, there's a church there, and he would give the Queen communion. He spoke really, really highly of her, and apparently he said that one of the things she really liked doing in real life was going on in helicopters. So that was one of her favorite things.
That's adorable.
Yeah, so and I think in latter years, that was like a bit of maybe a turning point, Annus Horribilis time for her, because in later years she definitely became a bit more able to communicate better, I think, with the general public. She'd always kind of kept a slight, not aloof, well, I suppose aloofness, but I think in later years she realised that actually just being able to connect more with the public in a more real way was a better way to go. So you definitely kind of felt that in her, because she always did a Christmas message for the nation, and it was a tradition, like in our house, whenever that came on Christmas Day, everything would stop, and we'd watch that for like 20 minutes. So,
wow.
Yeah, I suppose I'm from a different generation than Shelby, really. But so yeah, I mean, I think that it's quite an ambitious track, really, to try and sum that up in music, and also it's kind of a theatrical as well. So I think from your theatrical background, I think it's a good track
Yeah, it appealed to me when we were. I mean, I wanted it. You know, I think we probably talked about this. The term annus horribilis. There's too many Americans who go annus. You said annus. So like
they would say
anus,
anus.
as anus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to avoid that. And it wasn't just 1 year. I mean, for many of us since 2016, it's kind of this ongoing lament. So that's why the other reason why we changed it to Tempus. But yeah.
Actually, it was Natalie and Darin were the ones who thought about other, we'll say doofus people calling it anus. I never thought of it. But my point was, I don't mind the reference of annus horribilis, but I said it's been many years.
Yeah.
You know, I said you've got all the politics and all of the things that are going on in the United States. We had Brexit in the UK. We've had the war in Ukraine. We've had, as recently as now, we have what's going on in the Middle East with Israel and Hamas and Palestine. It has been a horrible time for the last 8 years for many people.
Yeah.
And the pandemic. We had a global pandemic. We were trying to just write the song about at least the lyrical content of the song, just about, hey, we're all in this together. We wish people could kind of get along and be nice to each other and show some respect, and we all have to coexist on this planet. And you know, how can we show some compassion for the hard times we've all been through, and the last line of the song is Tempus Horribilis, time to be done. Hey, maybe we can move forward somehow and make things better.
I'll feel more hopeful about that after this next election cycle, but I digress.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Darin, is there anything else you want to add? Anybody? I mean,
Not really. Not a lot of backstory on this one for me. It was just, you know, kind of getting used to playing the drums as is, being outside, being hot, going through the songs and not remembering what I played because it'd been, a year before or something.
We tracked. Well, you know and we discussed this a little bit in the story behind the song video. But we originally put all these songs. We wrote 20 or 30. So we wrote a lot of songs, and you know how guys know how progressive rock is and writing music is. You have bits, and you have this bit and that bit. I'm going to put this bit together, and then you have the singing song parts, and how are we going to smash all this Frankenstein, all this together? And this was originally. The working section, the groove, the first half of that groove was we called it 913 because it was in 9, and Darin wrote it when he was 13 years old, and we had never used it yet. And when Alec was here, we had worked up kind of the groove with some little melodic fragments, and I'd come up with the kind of the harmonic bits and the organ stuff. And we'd put everything down on a click. This was one of those ones where Alec had suggested, listen, you guys really sound best a lot of times when you get the groove going when you don't have a click. So I don't remember if the first half of the song didn't have a click and the second half did because we were in 4. I think that's what happened because the second half's in 4, the kind of like the Pink Floydish type section. But
I don't think we did not record with a click on that 9
on this one, right? So what was interesting was and we've never got to discuss this with Shelby and Dave, so this is really nice to do this. You know, we thought, well, we got to get the drums and the keys down first, and then we sent the stuff to Shelby. And I just want to say publicly that I love all of these groove parts that Shelby came up with, which often Shelby would send us things back that neither Darin nor I would have expected.
That's why we want real bass players in the band.
I'm glad to hear that. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's getting my MIDI bass, left-hand bass track, something, and then of course she wisely deletes it and then puts down a real.
Yeah. But I think I did a lot of slap bass on that one as well. It kind of just felt like it was calling for it,
Mm-hmm. It was great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think I a lot of my playing is very groove based because I tend to listen to a lot of bands like Duran Duran, very 80s groove based bands, and I guess that just automatically channeled out of me some way or another, and that's what ended up being recorded.
Yes, it's great.
Well, it sounds great, and one of the reasons I think that it fits very well with the song is because Darin, as much as he loves progressive rock and always asks us if we can add a beat, half a beat, or take out a half a beat, he still likes he's in this school, kind of a groove school, which we don't often hear in progressive rock. Like he loves, influenced by Phil Collins and Jerry Marotta from the 70s and 80s. And so it's not a Darren, how would you describe
Well,
that?
I mean,
I'm trying to not offend somebody else who's like,
well, no.
The
point is, this is the first time we've ever did a full section like this, where I'm just all I'm doing is putting down the groove, and that's it. There's no real drum fills. There's no anything other than that 9/8 feel through that whole first section. We've never done that before, and there's nothing wrong with anybody that doesn't do that. It's just for Circuline, this is the first time we've done that.
Yeah.
So, boom, and then we did other things after that.
Afterwards, right? and then Dave, God bless Dave. It's interesting because in the past, when we've worked with guitar players, they were either in the room when we crafted the parts with them together, or when we had guests. Basically, I had kind of orchestrated the entire thing, and we would just send it to them, and they would send us back literally like one rhythm track and one or two solo tracks.
Yeah, we didn't get that with Dave.
But I wanted to leave space. I really wanted to leave space
so good.
for
You
Dave,
should have
and I
seen
thought
our faces when the first time Dave sent us his
sent us
files.
like
We're just
10
going, what? We're
10
not
tracks
used to
back.
this at all. We're going, holy moly! This is what a real guitar player is supposed to do for a band.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way.
I was going to write. I
was
was
great.
thinking he was going to send us back a couple things, and I thought, well, I'll go back in and I'll fill in and I'll write around what Dave's going to send me back. And Dave filled the space with 10, it was piles of beautiful guitar work, and I was like, well, I guess my work here is done. I'll just be a little,
Sorry about that.
So anyway, it says
I remember on my school report, one thing I remember was that it said Dave is very conscientious.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that was quite perceptive. Because I think whenever I hear a track, I can't just do the minimum. I've really got to get into the music and kind of hear it as a whole, and not just like put a little solo on or something. But I kind of it's just the way I am. I suppose because I do a lot of arranging and orchestration as well. I'm always thinking of different parts and things, and different sounds as well. That's kind of what you get.
It was a happy surprise, let me tell you. Happy surprise.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Very nice.
Do you
actually the other thing was I think I really felt that there should be quite a bit of acoustic guitar on the album. So that's something maybe wasn't so much on your previous stuff.
No,
we've never had so much acoustic guitar on anything, and we welcomed it. That's I think if you talk to me and Andy or something, I would have said that a million times. I want more acoustic guitar. I want this, but and it's nothing against anybody else that we've had in this band. It just didn't seem like that was their forte.
Yeah, exactly.
And we needed this, and there's a lot of really special moments through this record where that really helps the song.
Yes.
So yeah.
But Robert Berry did a fantastic job.
Yeah, he's great.
He was the right guy to mix this record because he's panned and he's placed things, and there's things that are against, some things are back wall things, or some things are more present, or he's panning from left to right. You hear everything. And as usual with the mastering process, we worked with Robert's mastering guy in California, and it's one of those things where you think it can't get any better, and then you send it to mastering, and there's that extra 5 or 10%, and you go, I didn't think it could be any better, but it sounds better. I don't know how, but it just does. So I don't know what you guys
all witchcraft.
Yes.
What, Shelby?
It's all witchcraft.
Yeah, it is, exactly. Yes, witchcraft.
Yes.
Sprinkling the magic.
That's right. I like that. Sprinkling the magic. I think we're done. I mean, anybody have anything?
Done. I think that's for this issue of Behind the Official Video, and we're grateful to have Dave and Shelby with us today. Thank you so much for being here as part of this 2024 C.O.R.E virtual tour, and we will see you in the next episode.
Yes. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cool.
Cut.
Thanks, everybody.